Hi everybody, this is Luke and this is the part 2 of a previous video where I talked about the installation process of the new Tongsheng TSDZ8 mid-drive kit. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly encourage you to go and check that out first. As a quick reminder, I needed to build a 750 watt e-bike with a specific requirement of being used as a city bike. The bike owner is not a big fan of cadence sensing motor, and after clarifying pros and cons, we decided to install this torque sensing motor. After finishing the installation on this Rockrider ST120, I went outside to have my first ride on this fresh e-bike build. Remember, we are seeing stock behaviors. No modification has been made on the motor nor on its firmware. This is the experience any buyer will have out of the box. Thankfully, having the battery mounted on the rear rack didn't affect the stability of the bike while I'm riding. The first discovery is that on the first two assistance levels, the provided assistance is barely noticeable. Sure, this might be safe on some mixed pedestrian and bike areas, but to me the difference compared to the upper levels is way too disproportionate. Then, if you move up to level 3, you start feeling the assistance you might expect from a 750 watt rated motor. Still, there is something that doesn't fully convince me. See, on my 500 watt OSF TSDZ2, I'm able to maintain around 36 km per hour at assistance level 4 just pedaling at a regular pace. On this one, it's true that I can max up to 50 km per hour if I really push my legs to the limit. That's amazing, but it's also true that if I maintain the same regular pace I was talking about before, I barely reach 35 km per hour. The result is that without any firmware upgrade, the experience out of the box is quite disappointing. Don't get me wrong, the motor is powerful. It responds in a very energetic way to your leg's push, but on the long run you might end up feeling substantial fatigue for a 750 watt motor. It reminds me of my TSDZ2 with its stock non-OSF firmware. So that's what I decided to do. I jumped to ebikestuff.eu, which posted a detailed test report of the TSDZ8 motor. They claim being in contact with Tongsheng, which sent it back a firmware update. From their side, I bought the J-Link V9 USB kit, cause they also provide the speed sensor termination to connect the kit to the motor, and downloaded the package which includes both the program and the updated firmware. And here is the content of the kit just delivered. First thing to do is to connect the speed sensor cable to the JTAG port of the adapter. Then let's connect the other side to the motor. I prefer to connect the USB cable after the installation of the program, so for now I will skip the first step and jump directly to the unpacking of the archive, which contains the J-Link installer. Once that's done, I'll ensure that the battery is unplugged, and finally I'll connect the USB cable to the PC. Now it's time to open the J-Flash and the project that comes with it. Alright, now let's connect to the motor, and if you get prompt with this firmware update message, just select No. Once connected, the very first thing I like to do is backing up the original firmware. So let's read back the entire chip, and once this is done, let's save it as Intel hex file. Now that we are safe, we can proceed by opening the updated firmware, and then we can select Production Programming. Remember to select No to any update prompt, and then, if it's not grayed out, we can disconnect the motor. Let's see if the motor still works. After flashing the new firmware, I went outside for a new test drive. And, well, I can feel the 4 levels being remapped to offer a more linear increase of the assistance. Apart from that, not much really. The max speed was not increased, and I did expect that. About my fatigue, while trying to maintain a decent speed, that one did decrease a bit, but not enough to make me feel completely satisfied. In essence, I can say this experience is better than what you get from a stock TSDZ2, but it's still not comparable to what you might obtain installing the OSF on that same TSDZ2. One thing that I felt actually increased is the speed while using the throttle. Basically, it still has that initial delay before providing its full potential, but if you're already pedaling and you push it, you will finally feel that extra help that makes a difference during a steep climb. This is an actual upgrade from the TSDZ2. And that said, I can give my final considerations, which I already anticipated in the previous video. This TSDZ8 is a very good 750 watt torque sensing mid-drive kit, but nothing more than that. Yes, its build quality and attention to longevity makes it a better motor than the TSDZ2, but don't expect the same level of flexibility in terms of firmware. Installing the OSF on the TSDZ2, you can add that little bit of cadence assistance to your torque sensing motor, and this makes your biking experience more enjoyable and less tiring. You can't install any OSF on the TSDZ8, at least now while I'm riding. Maybe it will be possible in the future, but for now, if you plan to buy one, consider that you might be stuck with a stock firmware that you may need to flash anyway if you want to get the best out of it. Still, in case you don't care about cadence, if all you want to do is give extra power to your already strong legs, this motor will surprise you. It's still a perfect companion anywhere, in the city and off-road, as long as you'll be there for it. If you need your motor to be there for you instead, better go with Bafang. And this was all I had to say, for now. Be sure to subscribe and like this video if you like to support my work. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Also, if you want, there's a link in the description if you're willing to donate something. Feel free to browse this channel for more in-depth comparison and explanation. And I'll see you on the next one.